are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port here on a 2 for Tuesday, as Tony would say. And today we have a special treat, as it is the Barnes and Renee show.
Yes, it is.
First time, long time. How you doing, Renee?
I'm doing good today. I like producing. I like producing when we're at the Horseshoe. I don't know if I could do it every day like Tony, because obviously this is not my area of expertise. But I'm excited.
Now, if there was something, if you were going to do on a daily, a podcast, being a producer, like that would be interesting for you, what would it be about?
I don't think anyone would listen, because
the Beatles?
No, I just feel like
I just said that because you said you're listening before.
In college, me and my girlfriends, we used to just like put a phone in the center. Like we would start having these like random cool conversations about random things in life. And so we were just like, we should just start recording these conversations because they're kind of cool. So we just put a phone in the center, and we would just record it as like a podcast. So that's what I would do. I would just get a bunch of people my friends, and then we would just talk about shooting the shit.
So yeah, so it's the random gossip type of conversation for you, and like there wouldn't be one overwhelming topic that you would want to focus on.
No, just being funny.
Okay.
That I am.
All right. I mean, listen, I think, to be honest, I think that would do very well.
It's very popular on like some of those like Barstool shows and other podcasts and stuff like that. It's funny. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was like, what if I had my own show? But it's so much work.
It is a lot of work. You know what it almost reminds me of? And I've just listened to it a little bit, and I know they had collabed with us, for the Sopranos stuff. But like what Jamie Lynn Sigler and Robert Lear do, that's what it seems like, kind of what you're talking about. Because I don't think they have like necessarily like a main focus. It seems like they talk about everything.
Yeah, I mean, have you watched some of the stuff? Because
just like some shorts and stuff like that. But like I said, from what I've seen, it just seems like it's kind of like the everyday life stuff, which seems like, what you're referring to.
A lot of people watch that stuff.
Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, Renee. What will be give us a name, like something like what Renee's tableside or like fireside maybe?
Fireside chat
with Renee.
I don't know.
I think that has legs. Honestly, I really do.
I don't know. I was thinking about potentially, I'm not sure if it like fits with our
the stuff that we're doing. Yeah,
I'm sure if I really wanted to, I could get like another female co-host.
I
don't know. Maybe in the future.
Yeah. No, because I think, at the end of the day, I think everything fits with us. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like there's room for everything. So that's kind of interesting. And then one other thing I wanted to ask you, because sometimes I ask Tony stuff and he doesn't really give me like the true synopsis. I was asking him about the ski trip yesterday.
Oh,
but I feel like what I was gonna say is I feel like you give it to us straight. But he was saying most part, no one really got injured on the slopes. But then he was like kind of backtracking, saying, "Well, this person was bruised, this, that." And I was just kind of curious, like what the deal was with like the performance on the slopes.
What did he say about his performance?
No, he said that like everybody did, like it was weird. He said, "Oh yeah, no one got hurt," and then he just backtracked and said something about, "Oh, he had this bruise, that bruise," or what. He made it seem like everybody did equally, barely fell, but then he kind of like retreated. So I was just curious what like the actual deal was.
Well, I injured myself a little bit.
Okay.
Twisted knee, but Tony had like bruising on his legs, he said, the next day. But Tony skied very well. Like he was very good. Mike did so much better than he did last time. I don't think I skied as good as I could have, but I had fun, so that was good. I think overall I think I skied better last trip for sure.
Gotcha.
I was after I twisted my knee, I was pretty nervous because I was like, I don't want to get injured and a lot. So then I was kind of reserved.
Yeah.
How much would it take for you to get on the slopes?
Well, I have done it once, and I kind of had a similar experience where afterward my knee was killing me, and there was one time where I took like a big tumble, and it was just like I just kind of made it where it wasn't something, but it felt like if it was a little more like severe, it could have been like an ACL.
Yeah,
like, you know, because my thing is, and it was at this point. I mean, geez, it was probably 5-6 years ago. But I was doing the pizza cutters, you know, instead of like
doing pizza and French fry.
Wait, no. Well, I don't know. I mean, it just knees in.
Oh,
like, yeah.
Well, they call it like the pizza
and French fries.
French fry.
Okay. But yeah, like I don't know. I'm not good with like balance, coordination, quick thinking. So but it's interesting though, because everybody I went with, you know, they were like kind of like I'm sure you guys like going like on the. Like maybe not like the most advanced trails, but like kind of up there.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was kind of doing that. So in the beginning, we did, like they went like on a couple lower slopes with me, and they're like, no, we gotta go here. And then I just like didn't want to go slow, so I went, and it was just like way too much.
See, I honestly noticed that like where like Mike didn't really want to go by himself on a slope.
Yeah,
but I ski differently. Where it's like if I go on a trip, like obviously we do a few runs together, right? And then if someone else like wants to go do something, like it doesn't have to be like a group thing. Like I think people should be okay with going when you're skiing or like with a group. You should be okay with going on like your own, because then you make big O mistake.
Right. And I you know what it is? I think just for me, and I'm sure this would be common for anybody else who, you know, was going for the first time. You just don't know what to expect, so you just feel better. Like, okay, other people are here, and it just seems more fun. But like, once you're like the groove of it, then I think what you're saying, you know,
also
makes more sense.
Skiing a second day, like if we skied a second day after, I would feel so much
like
more
you feel like you would have crushed it. Basically.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. I have another ski trip planned in the beginning of March, and then I'm gonna try to get one more in before the end of the season.
Oh, nice. Where are you going for that one?
March, I'll be going to J Peak. That's like tippity top.
I've heard that one is nuts. I know it's right on like the U.S.-Canadian border, right?
Yeah, you can see Canada from the top. It's insane.
Okay, but technically, so like when you go there, it's Vermont?
It is Vermont, yeah.
Okay.
But there's all these French people. Everyone's speaking French.
So it must border Quebec, I'm guessing? Like the French side of Canada?
Yes.
I'm guessing you weren't a geography major today.
No. We should it'd be kind of fun to talk about ski like in the winter. We should talk about the X Games when they're on.
X Games. So who was it? Was that Sean White who used to do the
snowboarder?
X Games? Yeah. That's the only person I remember. It always used to be on ESPN, so I'd see it there. But other than that, I didn't know much. All I would think, honestly, every time that I would see it would just be the fact that there's no way I could do that. I can't believe like the air that they get, the jumps. It really is. I mean, I think a snowboarder is a very underrated athlete.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely.
And then also I was gonna ask any other like highlights from the trip. Tony was kind of like back talking the restaurant a little bit, and he his usual Tony stuff where he's just like, yeah, no, it's really good. But, and then he was just telling me how he thought it was odd that like you had to make a reservation, but then you like go up and get the food yourself or something. And
it's an interesting style of restaurant. I personally like it because like it was a lot of like your own, like you go up and you order and you pay there and you don't have to worry about anything else. Like you just go sit down, they'll bring it to you. Great service. Like it was very efficient. I can imagine that area gets pretty popular. So if they didn't have like a reservation system, like that place would be packed and it would not be enjoyable.
Okay. Yep.
Their drinks were pretty good. They're very strong, which I don't like. I like a drink that I can taste the alcohol, but not like be throwing up over the.
So you threw up?
No.
You just mean that the taste is so strong that you don't like it, you can't drink it. Yeah.
I did not enjoy my burger, but I think that's just me personally.
Okay.
Big like having a messy meal. I don't find it very appetizing. But other highlights were the hiking with the ski shoes. Were so cool. You have like spikes on the bottom, and that was so much fun. That was another. Oh, and we played a lot of card games. We played around Rummy.
You know, I used to play Rummy. But Rummy Q, is that the same thing?
A little bit different. I've played Rummy Cube once. It's like it has like a board or something that comes with it, right?
Okay, no. So this, no. You know what I'm thinking of? Is it? I'm saying the number wrong, but it's like rummy 500 or rummy.
You can do anything, but I usually do 700 rummy.
Okay,
so.
That's what I used to do, and I used to actually play like low stakes, like with my buddy. And for some reason, I don't know if I was just like not good at the game, but he would just always win, and I'd just be like, I can't play this. And I kind of liked it for a little bit, but it was just too much.
Yeah. Either you like it, or you don't.
Yeah.
Either you're a winner or you're a loser.
Did you do well?
I did very well.
Like the leader in the clubhouse?
Yeah.
Wow. There you go, Renee.
I don't want to say I smoked them, but I mean.
But basically, you smoked them.
I mean, I've been trained in rummy since a very young age.
Okay.
So.
Any other games that you did like a lot, or was that like the main one?
Mike and Tony played Mario Kart. There was this game that's kind of like points game with dice we played. Yeah, it's very like off the grid ish.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That sounds like a great, nice, relaxing,
very relaxing
weekend. How's the knee feeling now?
It's feeling all right. Like, it feels like the worst in the morning because like it's not been moving. But it's definitely getting better. I talked to my brother, who's soon to be a doctor.
Okay, what was he saying?
He was saying, based off what I described, he thinks just rest will be okay.
Yeah, no, that usually is the case, like some type of light sprain or something. That's awesome. Glad you had a good time.
Yeah, we missed you guys.
Yeah, no, I know. It just I think I'll need to like get my like skiing tutorial just so because
get a lesson.
I'm sure you could see this too, and I'm like kind of making fun of myself here, but I'm just picturing like me like breaking something like next time I go.
If you're picturing it too, it probably will happen. Because now you're scared. I mean, I was thinking before going in, I was like, I really don't want to get injured.
Yeah.
And then, it does.
I think, my sister, who now skis a lot, or, more regularly, anyway. But, she always did gymnastics and stuff. And then I think when she first started skiing, might even have been like the first time or something, like touring, like MCL, PCL, something like that. Like, it's just like.
Yeah, it's tough to get surgery for that.
Yeah, and for whatever, you know what? Unless it was, maybe she sprained it because I know she didn't have surgery, but it just could have been like
very painful,
bad sprain, painful. Yeah, and she's just one of those people. She likes to like attack anything, So I just remember that.
A woman.
But hey, listen, I could, I eventually maybe I could get there. We'll see.
You want to get to some comments?
Yeah, let's do it.
We got a lot here. Wow, we have a lot. Okay, starting off from the top. Josh B, what up, fam? 2 for Tuesday. Knicks back in action tonight.
Josh B, and I got the 2 for Tuesday. I'm not going to lie, only because I said it at the top, only because Josh told me it would have been like a Kaliev situation with Tony, and I know Josh knows what I'm talking about there. So thanks for the reminder, Josh. He's always on the ball with that stuff.
Yes, and then we got Ernesto in the house saying Luka Braun wins. We got Matthew Ryan in the house. Hey, Barnes, I'm back. Or I feel like you could also say that in like a horror voice, like, I'm back.
Oh, no, believe me, I'm hearing it from Matthew Ryan. We haven't heard from him in months and months and months. And listen, I mean, Devils have been going through a little schneid themselves, Matthew. Markstrom's injured. I mean, Rangers don't look good. I don't know if you saw our episode the other day, but I went on Friday. And it was tough to see that loss. So, yeah, I mean, nothing's guaranteed right now. And I'm hoping the Miller trade helps. Kaliev's paid dividends. So, just hoping, for a run. But, like, listen, a lot of work ahead.
Yeah, he definitely talked about, he said the Rangers suck. And he says, let's go Devils. And then he says 4 seasons tournament, but still Rangers suck.
In the 4 seasons, no, he said 4. Oh, it's the 4 nations, Matthew, not the 4 seasons. I was like, 4 seasons is a hotel. But that's what I was talking about. Why, the NHL's on such a long break. We were talking about that before the show.
Mm-hmm. We got Michael Buckta in the house. Yo, Barnes, the Lakers are sick. They have some good help for Luka and LeBron. I
mean, it was a nice win, albeit against the Jazz last night, but good way to get that started. And we'll talk about that in a sec.
Mm-hmm. Michael, is there like lights flashing in here? Did you see that?
I missed it. Oh, it is. Is that bulb must be going up there? Yeah. High alert.
High alert. Michael Buckta says also Barnes Trump is the first ever U.S. president to attend the Super Bowl. I did not know that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Josh B. I listened to a Renee Beatles podcast. All right, thanks, Josh.
It seems like that was up Josh B's alley for sure.
Yeah.
I think he has a vision there.
A lifestyle podcast. Michael Buckta. The Incredibles is so damn good. I am so dying to go out that
Incredi coaster?
I think that
Usually
right.
I'm not one for pronunciations, but I think that's what it is.
Pronunciations?
Yeah. Pronounce? I honestly always mess it up. Pronounce.
Pronunciations.
It's supposed to be
Pronunciations.
Pronunciations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not the
Josh B's chuckling.
I'm not the best with that as well.
But you're not the best, but you started correcting me, Renee. So let's
because yours sounded wrong. Okay, let's rip through the rest of these. We got Michael Buckta saying UConn's got to win their 2 games this week, Barnes.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
And then some.
Mrs. Materiello in the house. Hi, fellas. Hey, Mrs. Materiello. Special shout out to Renee. Thank you. Miss Materiello does say hi, Renee.
Special shout out for you.
Yeah.
With no hi Barnes. You notice that's interesting,
Well,
right?
she said hi, fellas.
No,
you were put into a category.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Michael Buckta asked, how long do you guys ski for? We were gone from Thursday to Sunday. We skied just one day. The rest was just chilling. Renee gets a massive yurt.
Yeah, yurt is his thing when he comes in always.
Yurt. Do you guys like Monopoly?
Haven't played, I would say, honestly, in probably like 20 years.
Wow.
But growing up, loved it. I don't know about you, Renee.
If you had to pick like one board game to like play right now.
You know, just because I used to play it a lot and really like it, I did really like Sorry. Honestly.
Whoa, interesting choice.
Yeah.
Was not expecting that.
But Monopoly was right up there too. I mean, what about you?
Candyland was a good one.
That was
Chutes and Ladders.
Yep,
Oh, that was a fun one.
Yep. The old days when everything wasn't digital, you know?
I know. I still have a lot of board games. Oh, Risk. Have you ever played Risk?
You know, I didn't do that one too much. But did the battleships or
yes.
And then what was the other one where it's kind of like battleships, but it's like red, and then you have like those like circles that go in it.
I thought those battleship were using like the little pegs.
No, battleships would be actual pegs, but this is like something, I don't know. I'm just having a vision that it's like a red wall and you put round ships into the top.
Oh, tic-tac-toe.
Is that tic-tac-toe?
Where like you put it into a slot and you're trying to get like the red.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking it was something else. I'll have to ask because I know we played it forever at my house. I'll have to ask about that one. For some reason, I feel like it was a different name.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Oh wait, we got a lot of Denver better watch the freak out for us.
Denver better watch. Oh, he's talking about for NBA for the Lakers. Yeah.
Renee from the top rope. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I actually am not sure. But Josh will tell us.
Yes. John Pollock in the house. Hi, Renee and fellas. What's up? You sunk my battleship. That's what Josh B says.
Seems like he must have been a big battleship player. I'm telling you, though, it's going to bother me what the name of this game is because I'm like picturing it.
So we describe it?
It's okay. So it has a red frosted frame. And I just remember putting like circles in it.
Is a just I'll put game. Let's see. Red plastic frame with circles game.
That's it.
Which
the
one?
First one on the left.
This one?
Yep.
That's tic-tac-toe.
It is.
Yeah.
I guess I'm still gonna have no, but it was something was different about it. I swear. I'll have to ask my family about it.
All right, you do that, Barnes. Get to the bottom of this.
And then what? Josh B thinks it's Battleship too, which is interesting. But I remember Battleship, but I'm saying like there's something else. It just been so long. I think that's why. Usually, though, I had to say long distance memory stuff. I'm usually pretty good, but it's been that long where it was over 20 years ago. So that's probably why I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, your memory jogged. You gotta play some more board games.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And then we got a couple more here. Just an LOL from Pollock. Right?
LOL from Pollock. Michael Buckta says, "I don't miss AD one bit."
Anthony Davis.
Yes, and he says, "Barnes, can you dress up as Wreck-It Ralph for Halloween for me?"
Michael, I do not do Halloween costumes.
That was a no. Josh B says, "Oh, Operation was a go." Yes.
What's that one?
The one where it's like you're operating on a body, so it's like this board, right?
Oh, okay.
And there's a body, and there's like there's like these little metal parts, like where the intestines are, where the kidney is.
You got to fill it in.
You got to pick out the thing and not get.
I definitely didn't do that one.
Oh, that one was so much.
Oh,
fun.
but you know, it was Jenga. I know it's not a board game, but that's a good one.
Jenga.
That was one I liked playing a lot.
Yeah, I like Jenga.
Really, this is really like nostalgic stuff that like I said, it's been a long time since I've even thought about this stuff, let alone actually played these games.
We did like a game night during when I was home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
We did it. What game did we play? We played Life. You ever played Life before?
No, but I've heard of that one.
Yeah. It's very long game.
Yeah,
but it's fun.
Yeah. And then Michael Butka is like wants us to challenge him at Monopoly.
Whoa, you go down, Michael Butka.
I can see him getting a little too crazy though, like with Monopoly, passing go, like you make a wrong move or something, Renee. Like he's like yelling at the top of his lungs.
Well, it's interesting because like I remember one time, you know, one of my siblings was dating somebody, and we had a game night, and we learned that this person was a little bit more intense with their games, you know, and you start learning things about like people come from different families of like playing games, and some people are very intense, and we're like, okay, you got to follow the rules, but like we're not going to scream at you until you cry. But some people are like that.
Yeah, no, it gets intense.
Josh B says Life was a good one. John Pollock says, I was horrible at Operation. Well, good thing that you're not a surgeon in real life.
Good thing you didn't have to play against Michael Butka.
Yeah. Michael Butka says, land on boardwalk with a hotel, and it's 2,000.
No, honestly, I have to say that part of it I did like. And we had a lot of it. I forget. I must have had like a Jets one or a Yankees one or something. But
that's fun.
There's a bunch of themed monopolies that we had. And I actually did really enjoy it. The stadiums, the houses. Yeah, we had an NFL one. I do remember that. It was cool. It was definitely cool.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Michael Butka says, my favorite ones are yellows and the greens.
Yellow and green. You think he's saying houses? Right? I mean, I don't know what else.
I didn't know there were yellow and green houses.
So maybe not?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're really out on a limb here.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. I have to say that was a lot of comments to start the day.
Yeah, Josh B said it. He said something about nostalgia. Life was a good one. Oh, I thought when he said that he meant like life was good back then.
Which I mean, it's everybody does kind of fall into that trap though.
Yes.
I think it's just because like when you're younger, you just don't understand. You know what I mean? Like what like life as an adult.
What you have, yeah.
What you have, like you're complaining about things.
Yes.
But you're not really like you don't have a care in the world.
Yeah.
And just how different
pure
it is.
Bliss.
Once you're older. So just from a perspective thing, I think it's tough to have it at that age. But you try to tell younger kids, but come on, what are the chances that they're actually listening right now, right?
That's true.
But a lot to get to here.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say if we could just take a quick trip to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play. Stop it. Yep.
And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight. And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
And I guess Michael Butka was talking about the sets barns, the properties, which is I thought, was that not what I was saying?
I didn't know that. The sets. I don't know what that means.
But I guess they're just different buildings and stuff, and it depends on what variation you're playing. Anyhow,
what's going on in MLB?
Yeah, what's going on in the MLB? You could say today, for big Yankee fans, like myself, you could call it Christmas Eve. As tomorrow is the first report date for the pitchers and catchers at the spring training complex in Tampa. And I don't know if you heard me talk about this, Renee, but I'm actually going the first week of March, going to 2 spring training games there.
No way.
And I've never been there before.
Where is it?
It's in Tampa.
Whoa, that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Never been to any spring trainings before?
Never been to any spring trainings. I've been to Tampa, and I think I saw the field from a distance, and this was like literally 16, 17 years ago. But
I'm surprised because there's the tickets are so cheap and you can go see.
Yeah, I guess it was just because you had to fly there, the hotel, all that stuff. So it was just kind of one of those things. Oh, well, maybe we'll just wait for opening day. But it is awesome too with the fact that the weather, the fact that I can golf, which here golf is a few months away, so it'll be nice to be able to do that. They just have a really nice field down there. And they've modeled it exactly after the current Yankee Stadium. So I'm really excited to see that. And one thing too, and I feel like I saw this in the TCA chat the other day. In a voice of reason for me, and I know I've talked about this with Tony a lot. But if we could get Josh B on this, because just make me understand this, because I feel like I've had to hear it from so many people, and even I don't like it, but I've heard some Yankee fans agreeing with this. What the whole reasoning behind why people think Citi Field is better than Yankee Stadium? I just don't understand it. I think Yankee Stadium, is a magical place, and everybody goes back to but the old stadium. But it's this is the stadium we have now. I feel like everything's first class. I mean, one thing that I think that maybe people wish that they incorporated more would be the surrounding area, the backdrop, goes up pretty high. So you kind of just see that subway behind it, but just what it is. So I feel like Josh B would be a good person to ask this. So, we'll see what he has to say there. Yeah. But yeah, I'm so excited for that trip. I'll get 2 games in, some golf, and then we're going to go to a hockey game down there too.
What game for hockey?
So hockey is going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning.
Cool.
And they're going to actually play the Buffalo Sabres. Which is kind of ironic, even though, it's obviously not in Buffalo, but me and Tony talked about for a while, it'd be so sick to go to Buffalo. Michael too, to see the games down there, but it's such a hike, and it's almost in Canada, by Niagara Falls there.
Wow, that's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
Just take the GoPro with you.
Yeah.
To vlog.
Wait, but the GoPro's back? Because I feel like forever it was down, no?
We got another GoPro.
Got another GoPro.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Used it on the ski trip this weekend.
Okay. That makes sense because I did see those videos. Yeah. I would love to do that.
Who are you going with?
So just because Corey's working, so I'm just meeting him down there, and then I'm gonna go to the games, and then we'll meet up after type of thing.
Wow, so you can be solo dolo for a little bit.
For a little bit, yeah. But golf, the Yankees, I'll be.
You're never
just
alone.
Fine. Yes, exactly. So yeah, no, I'm just really excited, but just such a good opportunity, for sure. And then what else?
John Pollock says F Tampa.
Yeah, he's tied at Tampa. They just beat the Red Wings, and I understand it. Tampa has talent, and they're kind of in the mix with everyone else, for some of those playoff spots.
Yeah. Well, first we had Michael Buck that's saying, "Awesome Barnes, how long you going down for there?"
It's the 6th and 9th, and I'm surprised Michael Buck, because he's usually like this anytime. And I don't know if you've seen this, Renee. Anytime I say I'm going anywhere, this guy just goes on vacation all the time. I should take over for him. Don't you think we should get him a house somewhere, move him out there? It's producer Butka.
He's trying to replace you?
He's trying to replace you. Every time I say it, I'm traveling anywhere, it's
wow.
Red alert, Renee. Red alert.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Josh B is also tuning in. The playing field itself to the bleachers. Yankee Stadium all day.
Playing field itself to the bleachers. Okay.
I gotta say, the stands and things outside of that, I do like Citi Field.
Stands and things outside of that. So I guess I don't know if he's talking about the concourse, maybe. What else did he say here?
He also said, but there's no better playoff vibe than Yankee Stadium and the Garden.
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many playoff games at Citi Field either. So
I have a question.
Well, what's that?
What's opening day Yankee Stadium ticket prices look like?
So it's interesting. It's not too bad. I think last year it was probably $100. This year, I think right now it's listed at $130 or. I'm actually kind of curious if that's changed at all. But it's one of those things, too, when you buy it far in advance, it's actually higher than as if you get it last second.
I was just going to say,
just because, so right now, actually, it's down to 104, which really, isn't bad at all.
We went to Yankee Stadium, right, for your birthday at one time?
Yeah. which was an awesome game. 1-0 Rizzo walk-off home run.
Yeah, that was a great game.
Yeah,
it
was
all,
crazy.
for your birthday.
Yeah, like what are the chances of that?
Mm-hmm. What are the chances that they play well?
But it's interesting because baseball is different than like the other sports where, whether we're talking about hockey or basketball or football, where there's so many games and then the stadiums are bigger. So, the ticket prices are actually pretty cheap. Like, and it's interesting too. So like, this Yankee opening day game, is $104, but then, there's an off day in between just because in case there's a rain out, they want to have it the next day. And then that Saturday, you could go for $36. So it's like the opening day ticket price is always so much higher. And I used to never go because I'm just like, well, I'll just go the next day. Like, what's the difference? But it's like a playoff atmosphere. It is really cool to be there. And that's why I'm going regularly now because, there is nothing like it. And it just deserves to be celebrated. And there's just such a good feeling, about baseball being back.
Isn't it a thing for companies like your company to, like, I know my dad's, like, he works for Dell, and like a part of the customer relations is they buy like a bunch of tickets, right? And they bring customers.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Organizations. Yeah. They have like season tickets and stuff. And actually
do you guys
back,
do that?
No, but I was going to say way back, we used to own a distributor, called Alpha Distributors. And it was like, I think it was probably like mid 70s to 2001, before we just solely focused on Ellie Barnaby. But they used to have Yankee season tickets. It was like 7 rows up from the third baseline, old stadium. Yeah, it was awesome. I even got to go a couple of times, but, this was, I remember going in like 98, 99. So at that time, we were talking about me 6 or 7 years old. So didn't get like the true experience. It would have been crazy to grow up during that time.
We need you to find and dig out a picture of you at that game.
Yeah, you know what's interesting? I don't remember, like, just because if you think about back then, I mean, I guess really all you had, if you needed, I guess you could
digital cameras.
Yeah, but I'm trying to 98, 99.
Well, 99, I was born, and my parents were they were shooting on like their big VHS recording camera and digital cameras.
Yeah, I'll have to ask my parents about that. But for some reason, I feel like we don't have those pictures. Like I have younger pictures of me like playing baseball and stuff, but I don't remember any at the stadium. But that would be something good to check about for sure. You love the chat. 6 nights. No, not 6 nights, Michael. 3 nights. The 6th, the 7th, the 8th, returning the 9th, but doing it very efficiently, Michael, because I know you get excited like travel, like Mad Dog. But I'm actually landing on Thursday. Landing on Thursday the 6th around like 10:30. First pitch is 1:00, staying right down the street from the field. And then the Lightning game's that night. And then the next day, there is another Yankee game at night. And then they're off Saturday and Sunday. So going to do some golf those days, maybe go to the beach potentially. And then flying back Sunday night. I think it's like a 8:30 flight, something like that. So really going to get the full value out of the days.
Which question are you laughing at?
No, the second one. But what was the first one?
The first one, Barnes. What are the odds of us seeing each other over my spring break?
Michael, I think there's something. There's an elephant in the room, Michael, that needs to be sorted out. But I think it'll be sorted out. So let's just take it one day at a time. And then he this is what I crack up about because he does randomly text me about this stuff too about Disney, and I think because he loves Disney so much, Renee.
Yeah,
he can't get over that. For me, there's just nothing there. And I understand, like people have the Disney nostalgia, especially people like at our age and stuff. But for me, it was kind of weird how I went because it's like I went when I was like 1 or 2 years old. Obviously, don't remember that, and then went in high school when it was like, I've already, it almost felt like it was kind of too late. And then, you know what I mean? So then it was kind of weird. And then I just was like, I don't need to go back. I saw this once. That's it.
I think the only reason I would go back is to do an around the world drinking day at, is it Epcot where there's
you go and actually Corey does that with his fiance.
I would do that once.
That actually does sound fun. I'd say, you know what it is too, Renee? I just rides. I don't. Like I can't and I used to bug out then. I can only imagine how I would bug out now. I cannot do like these crazy rides. And I always say this, I like water parks. But like roller coasters, no thank you.
Yeah.
And then he said it's okay.
I mean,
Like
if you didn't know, it's okay. Not a problem in the world. I sense some sarcasm in that.
No. I think he's actually being serious. Disneyland is my next big destination. It has been, Michael, for a while. But anyway, back to the Diamonds here.
Yes.
Just a couple of things I wanted to mention. Yankees with a minor move yesterday, literally a minor league contract for Tyler Matzik. The left-hander is now 34 years old, pitched for the Braves last year, was coming off injury, missed the whole 2023 season, so didn't pitch well in 10 innings at a 9.90 ERA. But his previous 3 full seasons, had ERAs 2.79, 2.57, 3.50. So kind of what feels like one of those, Brian Cashman reclamation projects. And obviously Tim Hill is back, but maybe Matzik pitches well enough where they give him a shot to make the opening day roster and then maybe trade, one of the excess right-handed relievers they have. So I like the move, no risk move there. And then really the other thing I was just going to mention is it seems like, and I'm sure they're going to experiment with this, throughout spring training, but that Jason Dominguez, is going to be the leadoff hitter, which is interesting. And kind of curious what Josh thinks. At first, I was a little hesitant about this just because I felt like when we did it with Volpe, which was, I think, to start the year, maybe like 2 years ago, right? Or his rookie year, or like early on in the year, we tried to do that, whatever it was, after LeMahieu was injured. But, I just don't want to put too much pressure on him. But then at the same time, I love the idea of just believing in him. And starting with that leadoff spot, and love the thought, which I have had since this whole Soto thing went down, this whole idea where it's like, him just being great from the jump, just how exciting that is. And, obviously we had that with Aaron Judge, but we really haven't had somebody come through our system other than that, of my recent memory, that was just a star from day one. And I really think Jason Dominguez, has an opportunity to do that. So that's really, really exciting. And just kind of curious anybody else what their thoughts are on that. But I think that's interesting. And, my kind of prediction, if they're going to go with Dominguez at leadoff, I would think maybe they want to go double speed at the top. So go Dominguez, then go Jazz, then go Judge, and then I would think Bellinger, Stanton, and then I would think after that, they'd probably want another. I guess they're really. Oh yeah, and then Wells, and then probably Goldschmidt, and I guess it would be. Yeah, third. Okay, then Goldschmidt, Volpe, and then whoever is playing third base, which I'm hoping is Peraza. And I didn't realize too, he's out of options, so they have to keep him on the roster or trade him. So this is a big spring training for Oswald Peraza, and I know LeMahieu is still hanging around, but I just really hope that that's just them being a little delirious and they'll come to their senses and release him sometime before the season.
Is there any trade talks that you're hoping for?
There really isn't, just because we're kind of late in the off season, and there's not too many people that are actually available. So that's the biggest thing. Anything would come as a surprise. And the Yankees have done a lot of moves, and I feel like really set themselves up well coming into the season. Third base is a question mark, but like I said, I like the idea. Believe in your prospect, give him the chance. He's been waiting for that opportunity a while. And then if they need to, as the season progresses, add anybody, they could do it at that point. That's what it seems like it's going to be. But as time transpires, we'll see. And today marks 10 days till their first game, at George M. Steinbrenner Field, a 105 game against the Tampa Rays. So can't wait to watch that as well. I know that one will be on the Yes Network, and I know the TV schedule just came out too. Me and Tony were talking about how not every game is on TV, but whatever they are, I love to watch them. I don't care who's in the lineup, who's not, even if it's guys that, they not make the roster, not play. It's just so awesome after such a long off season to be back on the diamond. It's just a good feeling. Did Tommy have a comment on
yes,
Instagram here?
On Instagram. I'm glad you saw that. He said on Instagram Live, Thomas W. Donovan says, "What up, fam? How about the BU Terriers upsetting BC in the Bean Pot?"
Oh, okay. Yes, no. I actually did
see
that. I did see that. And I believe that because Gabe Perreault, Tommy, which is, I think that's the first time I've actually pronounced his name right because I've just been saying Perrault all this time. I saw he was on the hint. You know, he was involved in that upset loss, and I know the Caps called somebody up to their team, and I hope the Rangers, will call Perreault up, but we'll have to see. Really, other than that, just a couple minor notes here, baseball wise. The Reds are going to honor Pete Rose with a number 14 sleeve patch. Kiki Hernandez back to the Dodgers. This is his fourth time, with the team. It's interesting how, he keeps going back there, and it seems like they always have a role for him, and he is, always kind of a nuisance, when you really think about it. Last year only hit 229, but it does seem like sometimes, he'll come up big spots. So I think for them it works. I mean, it seems like everything that they've done recently has worked, unfortunately, but every season's a new season. So I know a lot of people are, kind of downtrodden going into it, just thinking that, their teams don't have chances. And I guess too, Corey just texted in the group chat here. I'm going to just double check this, but it looks like former Dodger closer, Braves closer, and Red Sox closer, Kenley Jansen, I guess, has signed with the Angels. So I just want to verify that here. Let's see, Kenley Jansen. And this just came out 6 minutes ago.
So is this breaking news?
I guess you could say it's breaking news. Kenley Jansen signing with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They've been kind of quiet this free agency period, but they get Jansen, who has 447 career saves. I believe that's the active leader, if I'm not mistaken, in saves. And last year for Boston, 3.29 ERA, 62 strikeouts, 54 and 2/3 innings, 4 home runs allowed. So it's interesting. He's getting up there in age. Now I think this will be his age 37 season. Yes, yeah, he's 37 now. Will turn 38 in September. So he kind of one of those remaining few free agents. Obviously, everyone's waiting on Bregman, but it still feels like he's going to the Astros.
Cool.
There was one other thing I just wanted to mention here before we move along, and I lost my spot because I was looking up Jansen. The fuck? Yeah, come on. This is kind of like a no shit type of thing, but CC, officially to have the Yankee logo in the Hall of Fame. Obviously, that makes sense. Played his most years of his career there, won his title. So we know how special the Yankees are to him. And then Billy Wagner, who pitched for a couple of teams, the Mets, including, the Braves, the Red Sox. But he's going to go in as a Houston Astro, and I think that's the right move. When there's certain guys you just associate with one team, and I think that makes sense for him. But yeah, like I said, I'm so excited for baseball. So excited, just to see, we'll see the pitchers and catchers tomorrow. It's just going to be a great day. And as we get closer and closer to the regular season, and can't wait to be there in Tampa. So really excited. And as more stuff comes up, we'll definitely mention it. But if we could go now to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go! LeBron James at the buzzer!
All right. So we don't usually take a trip to the National Basketball Association, but obviously with the recent trades and then now the Four Nations break, baseball games haven't started just yet. The four seasons, right? So, that's what we have right now between this and college basketball, really for this week. And I think this weekend is All-Star weekend as well, if I'm not mistaken. But the big talk, of course, is Lakers and Luka, who finally made his debut last night. Because of the nature of this game, this was a, blowout win, 19-point win. He only played 24 minutes and didn't have his best game. Obviously was excited just to be out there to play. had 14 points on 5 of 14 shooting, only playing 24 minutes. 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 of 7 from 3-point range. And I think JJ Redick even said something about that after the game. And Rick and Dave were kind of joking around like, oh, kind of a aggressive call out there. But, he was one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. So obviously he has high standards. And Luka will get it down. I'm sure he even said, there was nerves coming into this game. I think the important thing was just to finally make his debut, get comfortable with the rest of the team. And the rest of the team played well. LeBron, like he's been doing all season, strong performance here, 24 points, 8 assists, 7 rebounds, 10 of 17 from the floor. And a guy that I've always liked, Rui Hachimura, had 21 points in this game. And he's still only 27 years old. Seems like he's been around a while. The 2019 first round pick out of Gonzaga. I think he's a guy, with the AD trade in the previous game too, he had 24 points against Indiana, and obviously LeBron wasn't there for that. But he's a guy I feel like, can really play a bigger role here and has the ability. He's athletic. He could shoot the 3, had 3 3-pointers last night, had 6 boards and 2 steals as well. So I think he's a guy that benefits from them, picking up Luka and then them having to kind of go with the smaller lineup. They went with Jackson Hayes at center last night. He had 12 points. And then Reeves coming off that big game against Indiana, 22 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Kind of interesting, we talked about at the end of the show yesterday that rescinded trade between the Hornets and the Lakers. So none of those guys have played yet because the Hornets are challenging the deal in terms of the failed physical. Which I find very interesting. And it's just such an awkward situation for the players because it's like, okay, you challenge it, it doesn't go through. Then he's going to come back and they said some posts welcoming him back to the organization. But now everyone's holding out again. I've definitely never seen anything like this. And as good as Dalton Connect was, especially in the beginning of the year, I still think it's to their benefit to get Mark Williams because that just gives you another body down low. And then you can have, Hachimura, if you want, as your 6th man off the bench. So be interesting to see how that plays out. But like I said, it's a situation that I've just never seen play out before. But the Lakers moved to 32-19, 19-6 at crypto.com as they look to, return to title contention with the addition of Luka Doncic. And then, just running down the scores from last night, Cavs, end up blowing out the T-Wolves 128-107, despite Anthony Edwards having 44 points. Cavs still 43-10, even though recently there's been a couple scenarios where they've struggled a little bit. Just one of the top teams in the league. I think the biggest question mark, for everybody is what are they going to do in the postseason? And Evan Mobley, big game for them last night, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. We saw the Hawks and Trae Young was named as an injury replacement for the All-Star game, so I'm sure he's happy about that. 112-106 over the Magic, despite 37-7 from Franz Wagner. So it'll be interesting to see, with him back now, Banchero back, if they kind of get it together and, could be a dangerous team in the East. The Spurs, obviously, the addition of De'Aaron Fox. We know about Wemby. They're trying to get into playoff contention, but they're 23-28. But Wemby did have 31, 15, and 3 blocks last night over the Wizards, who are 9-44. All of a sudden, the Nets can't lose. They win 97-89 over the Hornets. It's interesting with them still 19-34, but have had a good run recently. And Claxton had 16 for them last night. The Celtics, who, were coming off that blowout win over the Knicks, end up beating the Heat 103-85 last night. Michael Butka's favorite player, Jason Tatum, with 33 points, rebounds last night. Celtics 38-16. It's interesting because it seems like, anybody in the East going to challenge. And Rick and Dave are kind of just talking about how, they don't think the Knicks are ready. And that's something Michael's mentioned a lot too. But it would be nice to see someone give him a challenge. And I still think it's possible. I think, there is a belief in this Knicks team, and I think belief can get you anywhere. So you never know. The New Look Warriors with Jimmy Butler, 112-111 over the Bucks. Steph Curry leading the way with 38 points, 6 rebounds. Warriors now 1 game over 500, had that hot start to the season and then have been middling ever since. But I think they're hoping, with the Jimmy Butler addition, he had 20 points and 9 rebounds, 6 assists last night, despite only going 4-12 from the floor. But with that addition, that they can kind of return them, to the championship conversation. So be interesting to see, what happens there. You saw the Thunder blow out the Pelicans, who, have been a mess this year, 137-101. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the MVP favorite, 31 points, 3 steals. He's had a bunch of 50-point games this year. The Kings, obviously with Zach LaVine now trading away De'Aaron Fox, 129-128 over the Mavs, who are going to be out without AD with that abdominal injury for a couple weeks. But DeMar DeRozan turning back the clock, 42.7 boards. He was always one of my favorites, especially when he was with Toronto. And then the only other game, the Nuggets, putting the beat down at home against the Trailblazers, 146-117. Jokic, 40 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. So they're looking for another crack at a title after winning a couple years ago. Disappointing end to the season last year. So we'll have to see what happens there. And then tonight, a little bit of a lighter slate. Being a Tuesday, we do have 4 games. And it's funny. It's been a while since we've really done like a basketball frenzy, but I guess with there not much else on the table, I think sometimes you got to make adjustments here.
Yeah.
So let's do it. And we'll do, I guess this is a 4-pack, as we like to say. First game, Philadelphia, the Sixers and the Raptors. Both teams well under 500. Raptors 16-37, only 4-21 away from Toronto. The 76ers 20-13. There's talk about Embiid needing yet another knee surgery. It's just been an absolute mess. The Paul George contract, all of that. I mean, they got Tyrese Maxey, but other than that, I mean, what else do they really have? And you look at the recent schedules here. Raptors have lost their last 4, and the Sixers have lost 4 out of their last 5. So both teams not exactly on fire here. And I just want to see in regards to Embiid, they're saying injury management is questionable for Tuesday's game against Toronto. So I don't know. I think with Embiid, without Embiid, I mean, I know the Sixers are 20-32, but I think they win this game. I mean, the Toronto is just a mess. So I'm gonna say, give me Philadelphia covering the 9.5, and let's go under. Let's say they win, 110-85, so way under there. And I believe the second game of the night is the one that everyone locally is focused on, as you have the Knicks back in action, like I said, coming off that disappointing loss to Boston on Saturday. They're in Indiana, playing the Pacers, who are 29-22. Knicks 34-18 here. And you look at recent performances, you've seen the Knicks, go 3 out of their last 5, and the Pacers have also won 3 out of their last 5. And it looks like Anunoby and Josh Hart game time decisions here. We know the way that Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns are playing, and this just feels like a game where, and it's interesting because the Knicks blew out the Pacers the first time around, but then the second time in Indiana, where they're playing tonight, they did lose by 11. But it does feel like a game against an opponent that's good, but not in the upper echelon of the league. So those are the games that you feel like the Knicks win. So I think they actually blow them out. And I think Karl Anthony Towns, another huge game, and Brunson. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them had 30 points, maybe 15 to 20 boards for Towns. Total of 239.5. I say that goes under as well. I think this is like 129-98. So we'll go with the Knicks and the over there. Kind of seems Vegas trappish with the 2.5 point spread. And you never know, injuries always change in the NBA. 2 more left here. Bulls, Pistons, Detroit minus 4.5. Cade Cunningham has been unbelievable of recent. I love Detroit in this one. It's so great to see them finally back. It's been so long. We were talking about the other day since they've been in contention. So I think Cade goes for 38. And I think the Pistons, let's go under again. I mean, these totals are so high. But let's say 125 to 110. So we'll go the Pistons in the under. And then the last game, second half of that doubleheader on TNT, Knicks being the first game, Grizzlies and Suns. Grizzlies have been great this year, 35-17. Suns have struggled, 26-26. Couldn't get that deal for Jimmy Butler, as we know, going to the Golden State Warriors instead of Phoenix. It's just, I don't know. It just almost feels like this team is never going to figure it out. So give me Memphis. I just think they've been a far better team this year. Love the way Ja and Jackson have been playing. So I'll go over in this one, even though 244 is insane. But I'm going to say the Grizzlies win 130 to 121. So we'll go, or actually, no, it would be 124. My mistake there. But we'll go the Grizzlies and the over. And just like that, that is your NBA frenzy.
Nice.
First time, long time. We got a
few comments.
Yeah,
here.
I know the list for Michael and then Matthew talking smack. But
first, real quick, in regards to the frenzy, John Pollock tunes in and says, as a Detroit fan, we need a win tonight over Chicago, 121-101. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way Detroit's been playing, so I think good prediction there.
We also have Michael Buckta saying top 10 greatest NBA players ever. This is his ranking. He says Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Kobe, Magic, Bill Russell, Wilt, Larry Bird, Shaq, and then Duncan. That's his order.
I mean, not a bad list there for sure. It just, when you get to a certain point with the NBA, I mean, these guys in the different eras and stuff, it's just so hard to really compare. But I think one thing we can all say is that they're all great. That's really the truth. So what else I wanted to mention here? UConn Huskies back in action tonight. Against Creighton, and Michael Butkin knows it better than anybody. I mean, this is a game that they absolutely have to have. UConn 7 losses already this season. The tough one is St. John's, a game that they're up 14 points in. We've talked all the time about, Caravan, his poor play. It was nice to get McNeely back, even though he went 4 of 15. But there's just a lot of stuff that need to be cleaned up here. 3-point shooting, free throw shooting. And then it's interesting. I think I think Caravan played less minutes last game. I think that should continue. If he's showing that he's not going to give you a good game, I think, you have Reed, you have Stewart that can be the answers, down low. So I think lean on solo ball and McNeely. And don't turn it over. We saw at St. John's, I think it was 18-2 on the points off turnovers last game. Don't freak out about a full court press. Take your time, make the smart decisions. And I think you'll just be fine. And UConn comes in this game 4.5-point underdogs. So I think, there is, and if you look at it, the last time, these two teams played, I think this was the game that Caravan had missed those free throws where they had a chance to win late in the game. They lost by 5. So I would say a vengeance here for sure. But it is so weird too, just looking at this game and seeing that, after that loss, that the UConn is now unranked. So I think the guys are going to be highly motivated. They know, stuff has to change, and stuff has to change right now. So, just being a part of the UConn faithful here, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but boy, are they putting themselves in a precarious situation, with matchups against Marquette and St. John's remaining this season to lose yet again. You're really getting to the point where you're going to be on the bubble and potentially not make the tournament if you keep losing. So I'm going to say they win. I think solo ball and McNeely, probably, both go over 20 points here. They limit Caravan, lean on Reed down low. And I think this is going to be an under game, but give me UConn winning. I'm going to say 68 to 63. So we'll go with UConn and the under. And this is a 9:00 game on CBS Sports Network. So a little different there. Most of these games being on FS1. What do we got? Michael, I know said a couple of things.
Michael says these guys, in regards to his list of best NBA players, these guys in the NBA don't want to be told one minor thing, and you're fired. I'm so glad our boy doesn't have to deal with that nonsense. John Pollock says, "Go Red Storm." Michael Buckta is predicting UConn wins 66-60. And also, Barnes, have you been to Nebraska?
Go Corn, as me and Matthew would say. That was just kind of a joke. We went to a bowl game at Yankee Stadium and Nebraska was playing. And I had a little money on Nebraska. So we happened to be sitting with the fan base. So that was funny. But no, you haven't been there either, Renee? Or
Nebraska? I can't say nothing has pulled me to Nebraska. Yet.
Yeah. You never know. You never know.
What's in Nebraska?
Cornfields, right?
Woohoo!
The University of Nebraska. I mean, that's really all I have there. That's for sure.
He said I meant the current NBA players, not the old ones. My bad. Thank you for the correction.
Yes.
NBA in the 80s were iconic.
Michael. Iconic. You know what else would be iconic, Renee? If we could do a Panini pull.
Right.
And this is going to be sponsored by the Hirsch Law Firm. So a last pack here. This is a little, I don't know what the right word is. I guess bittersweet. I know some more cards are going to be on the way. But we've had a nice run here, having the pulls every show. We had a good baseball one yesterday, getting that Chase Hampton card. And it would just figure the last one that we have. Okay, here we go. There was a little difficulty getting the wrapper off. But
are you ready?
We are ready, Renee. All right, so we're going to start off one of Ernie's guys here from the Green Bay Packers, Christian Watson. So that's a good one there. I struggle with injury. Potential is there. One of the best kickers in the league, unfortunately didn't get a chance in the Super Bowl. Number 7, Harrison Butker. And then we're going to go to Minnesota, one of the most talented wide receivers in the National Football League. Number 18, Justin Jefferson. So that's a great card to have there. 3 down, 12 to go in this 15-pack. And it's interesting. A lot of people didn't like him. The bolsterous attitude. I was a fan growing up. I thought he was electric. Did make the Hall of Fame after a couple rounds of voting. Number 81, Terrell Owens. So a legend card there. And speaking of legends, another legendary receiver that I grew up with. Number 80, Andre Johnson. So 5 down, 10 to go here. Big number 99 from the Indianapolis Colts, DeForest Buckner. So he'll look, it'll be interesting to see what the Colts do at quarterback this year. He's dying to contend again. That's for sure. Number 1 from the Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Etienne Jr., one of the more talented, multi-dimensional running backs in the league. From Kev's Raiders, number 35, Zamir White.
Nice.
And then from the Bolts, number 52, he said he's going to play again this year, Khalil Mack. And, he's from the University of Buffalo. Been, in the league a long time now. I believe he's 32, but still a productive player on defense. And this is cool. A production line card. Yet another young up-and-coming receiver and running back. I didn't realize it was actually 2 players here. Bijan Robinson and Drake London. So this is definitely a different card. You see the shine. So we'll have to look this one up. This could be a rare card. You never know. And right now, what does it get? We got 5 left here. And we're going to go a top-rated rookie from the Arizona Cardinals, Tyshawn Palmer. So you learn something new every day. And then from The Ohio State University, starring on the Seahawks now, number 11, Jackson Smith in Jigba. So this is a good card to get there. Number 1 from the Arizona Cardinals, Palmer's teammate, Kyler Murray. So a big year coming up from Murray. Disappointing finish there. It'll be interesting to see what they do. We have 2 cards left. From the Atlanta Falcons, number 97, Grady Jarrett. And to finish off our last pull of this round of cards here.
On the edge of my seat here.
On the edge of your seat from the Baltimore Ravens, Justin Meduki. And I know I said it wrong. It doesn't matter. So just like that, that is your Panini pack pull brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm.
Nice.
There's going to be more cards coming up. It's an addiction, honestly. I would say, trying to think. Well, growing up, Renee, anything? Because I honestly used to collect baseball cards all the time. Did you have something that you collected? Like, I don't know, Beanie Babies or dolls or something like that?
I collected bookmarks and those rubber duck things.
Okay. Yep.
You know, all the different designs and stuff like that. That's what I collect. My brother collected like sport cards.
Sports cards. Okay. Yeah. Everybody had their stuff, and I had the Pokemon cards even for a little bit, but then baseball definitely took over. Even had the Beanie Babies way back in the days. Those were big. There were some that were like worth so much money, so rare. The TY tags, shit used to get crazy, honestly. We were talking about with Tony yesterday. Definitely want to get some NHL cards. That one pack, I was only there. Or one box anyway. I was only there for one pull. So we definitely want to do that. Probably get a different type of card there. Maybe one of those like jersey packs or, they have the items from the actual like ice, which would be really cool. So we'll have to see, what we can get. And I'm just trying to look here. I mean, really, other than that, you just had, I guess, A-Rod and Mark Lohr, who are part owners of the T-Wolves, have been fighting with current owner Glenn Taylor for control. I guess there was some option when they bought the team, but they didn't make a deadline. But supposedly the judge has ruled in their favor, so they're going to get full ownership of the team, supposedly. But it's one of those things. I mean, you never know what'll really happen, but it seems like it's been lingering on for a while. And then they said the Super Bowl projections record 126 million watch. Seems like they say that every year. But I would imagine there are a lot of people watching. How many people stayed to the end though? That's interesting because definitely, wasn't really the compelling game. So we'll have to see. And like we mentioned yesterday, NFL draft will be here before we know it. I know there's some trade rumors about Matthew Stafford. And it was funny. The Giants thing actually yesterday, I was kind of scoffing at it, but it actually was suggested on both 880 and the Fan this morning. So that's something that could happen. Who knows though? And I know Stafford, I'm sure, is at this point where he just wants to win right now. That's why I'm questioning it. But maybe, if they're able to get other pieces, it would change his mind. And really, I mean, he's somebody who makes sense for the Jets too. But I would like to see them, grow with a younger quarterback. So, which is something they haven't done in a very long time. But that is really it. What were you going to say, Renee?
I know it's a little delayed, but I wanted to set the shot. I just wanted to show this nice shot of all the cards. And I want you to pull out like the top one.
I had to say this one. I mean, the talent.
But you gotta flip it.
Renee, this is just not my side. I don't understand how you. Oh, okay. It's just weird, the angle. Why am I like, okay. So, I swear, I know everybody's going to make fun of me. So
you can't even, you see where the camera lens is, right? You see the camera?
Oh my God.
Pull it back and down and angle towards the camera. No, towards my head.
This is bad. This is terrible. This is the Bijan Robinson and Drake London card.
Okay, cool.
That was embarrassing. Renee was just trying to set me up there, I have to say.
Yeah.
But oh no, what were you gonna say?
There were some other final comments I definitely want to get to. Michael Buckta says this show this morning is awesome. Renee, we need you on the Sports Port more often. Wow.
I knew it had to do with Renee.
Yep. I have that effect on people, Brian. Is Matty G here? No, he is not here today. Sorry.
And John Pollock with the LOL, which was his shirt with me with the camera. I still can't believe I messed it up. I almost wanted like another try at this.
Okay.
That was so embarrassing. This is the Jackson Smith in Jig Book card. Why is this so challenging,
Because you're mentally challenged.
I do like this one, but I still don't get like what would be.
Like,
I guess I would put it here and then just bring it back, but I don't like how
but you're angle it the wrong way. Like you angle it towards the camera.
I guess it's just weird.
The lighting is a little weird.
The lighting is weird.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Smith and Jig, but this is a good card as well. So just wanted to do that. Show I could do it. And I know Michael Bucket could comment forever. Is he in the comments? No, he's not in the comments. And then haven't seen him in the comments once. I think probably a busy day at work. But Renee, I have to say, what a show.
Yes.
Really flew by today. And it was great having you here. A little switch up.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I could do this more often.
Yeah. We talked about a little bit of everything, good warm up and stuff, and really needed it because this time, like I said, this is an interesting time in between the Super Bowl, the NHL break, baseball starting. So thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to everybody. And we encourage everybody to continue to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at downtown.tv.com. We want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy Binge Buddies, and we will see you mañana. Here we go.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do.